Hi, I'm Stan Goldstein with Kates-Boylston. On Thursday, February 29th, yes, this is a leap year, we here at Kates-Boylston will be hosting our virtual technology think tank from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. One of the three speakers we are fortunate to have that day is Mitch Smith, the Associate Vice President of Partnership Development of eFuneral Partner. That's a mouthful. Okay. Thank you for joining us, Mitch. So tell us about eFuneral Partner. What do you do for your clients?
So we started back, I think I came on board in December of 2018. The organization started a little bit before that, late 2016, 2017. We build a software solution that allows families to come to the funeral home's website to purchase at-need and pre-need 100% electronically. We can talk about all sorts of use cases and things we've done with clients, but fundamentally, our product allows people to buy pre-need and at-need online.
Okay. And you're part of the Homesteaders family, so explain that to me.
Absolutely. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of Homesteaders. So the previous CEO of Homesteaders had the forethought when the eFuneral.com domain came up for purchase to grab it. They held onto it and they weren't sure what to do with it at the time. They brought on our president who was working for Principal Financial Group. His focus has always been, how do I use software to solve complicated financial problems? They brought Luke on. Luke built the team around him. They brought me in later on to handle the sales side of things.
Great. All right. As I mentioned, on Thursday, February 29th, you'll be one of our three speakers for our technology think tank. And the title of your presentation is Meeting Your Families on Their Terms, Pre-Need in the New Area. Give us a preview of what you'll be discussing.
Absolutely. It's a fun presentation. It's a little bit of a riff on online dating and how we make sure our profile is set up the right way. But fundamentally, what we want to talk about is the changes in consumer purchase habits. If we think about generations ago, the decision for which funeral home you went to was already made. That person was in your church. That person was some connection with your parents. They had served your family in the past. And now with such a huge number of new entrants into the market, the information search and the evaluation of alternatives portion of the buying process is such a huge underrepresented part of the conversation. So what we want to do is talk about how those things have shifted and how you really truly date a lead, how you get them from website, phone, all the way through to pre-need appointment.
Interesting. That was my next question when I saw the online dating process can help you better understand you sell this. So that's interesting. So I guess it's more modern too as we get. You wouldn't have thought about this 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think there's so many things that have changed. There's so many, technology moves so quickly, and that can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing. The biggest thing that we're seeing change is that consumers' habits will change business practices. Consumers are really, really good at getting what they want. I always use the example, I think it was Kia, it could be Saturn, but I got to go back and validate that. One of those two car companies was the first car company to put their price on the screen in the commercial. And now you don't see any cars advertised anywhere without the price front and center. Right? Once consumers get something that they want, they're really good at keeping it.
Good point. Good point. So tell me a little bit about your background. How long have you been with eFuneral? What else have you done with your career?
Absolutely. So I started with eFuneral in December of 2018. So prior to that, my wife and I were in Omaha for about 15 years. She was a golf pro. And at that time I was in the financial tech space. So I worked in payment processing for a little bit, but my career started in final expense insurance at Mutual of Omaha. So I worked on that product for a long, long period of time. After that, I moved into the mass payment processing space where I was kind of an account management role supporting our large clients around the country who were using the payment processing within their software. So again, using software to make processes as simple as possible. From there, I moved into the banking sector. And that was my first foray into sales, as it were, but sales in a factor of you have to have the right product to meet the needs of whoever you're selling it to. And when the eFuneral opportunity came up, it was just a home run. I was able to move home to Des Moines, mile and a half away from my childhood home, and really help grow the culture, grow the business from the ground up with the tremendous support from Homesteaders Life, the tremendous support from peers in the space, and then organizations that trusted us as we built things up. So my background has always been mainly insurance-based, and then as it moved along, how do we wrap insurance and technology together to make things easier for the consumer?
Okay. I was just going to ask you where your hometown was, and you mentioned Omaha. the movie Up in the Air with George Clooney's been on HBO a lot lately. So I know he was Omaha based. I just watched it the other night.
I
So
spent a lot of time at that airport.
yes, like him. So, and what do you like to do in your free time? Your wife works for eFuneral too. Is that correct? Or for homesteaders?
No, she actually works for a company called Handwriting Without Tears. So
Okay.
the pencils that we all learned to write with when we were kids. So for fun, I've got two boys. I've got a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. Coach their hockey teams. So fundamentally, when I go to work, I go to the rink. But when I have time off, I really enjoy biking, love golfing. I've kind of become a pickleball addict in the last couple of months. So that's been fun. And then, mainly just anything I can do to spend time with my kids.
Great, great. So, to wrap it up? You're going to be on Thursday. Your part comes on at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That is. I know you're at Central Time, so we always say that. And just for someone who may be tuning in, what else can you add? Why should they tune in and listen to you in the virtual technology think tank?
If nothing else, the presentation is fun. It's fluid. It's rapid. It takes a concept that we're all tangentially familiar with online dating, and juxtaposes that with how we should be thinking about handling consumers day to day. I like to make everything as rapid, as fun as possible. I've probably given this presentation 10 times, and every time I give it, it's different, right? Because I hear a question or I get something. The group dynamic to me is so exciting. So if nothing else, it's a topic they've never heard before, and I hope they can have a little bit of fun.
Good, and we'll have questions too. We
Perfect.
always encourage people to ask questions, and then we either do it in the middle or at the end and that's good. We're a good Q&A, and hopefully you get a question you never heard before. So keep you on your toes. All right, Mitch, thank you so much. Again, that is Thursday, February 29th. You can sign up for it by going to AmericanFuneralDirector.com. You'll see an events tab. Click on that. It's free. Oh, I should mention that. It's free. Sometimes I see these webinars and things, and then I go click and it's $250. I'm like, maybe not, but we're free. So totally free. Join in. And if you can't make it, we always record it, so you'll get an email of it afterward. And Mitch, thanks so much. I look forward to talking to you next Thursday. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for your time, Stan.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.